and then I immediately went around and started spitting on the exhaust pipes. The family and I recently took a trip to New Hampshire in the 170. The day we were going to come back from New Hampshire to start heading home, we had an issue. Went out to do my pre-flight run-up before we take off and did a mag check and didn't have a good mag check. Now, magneto check is checking the ignition system on the engine to make sure it's okay. While you're running the airplane, you turn this switch that's normally running on both magnetos in normal operation, and you go to one single magneto, back to both, to the other magneto, back to both. You're going to expect a slight drop in RPM when this happens, but on this case, when I selected the left-hand magneto, I started to have a miss in the engine. The rough running happens sometimes. A lot of times what you can do is lean the mixture while you're doing your run-up pretty severely until the engine almost quits and let it run there for 15 or 20 seconds. And a lot of times you can burn off whatever trash may be in a spark plug if that's the problem. So I did that a number of times. I'd run it up really high power, pull the mixture, try to lean the engine out a lot, try to get those plugs really hot and burn off the trash. Unfortunately, that didn't fix the problem. So I had to taxi back to the FBO, get the family out of the airplane after I parked, and begin troubleshooting. Now the thing is here, is that as I was on a trip 1,000 miles from home, and I did bring some tools and some spare parts, but if it was a magneto, for example, I wasn't gonna be able to fix that day. When I selected the left-hand mag, that's when I had an issue. On this particular airplane, the left-hand mag only runs the bottom plugs. Each cylinder has 2 plugs, there's 6 cylinders. So I took the bottom cowling off, and the only way to troubleshoot that, I didn't even have a thermometer or anything. I had no way of checking this out and see which one was dead. So what I did is I ran the engine, I started the airplane back up, ran the engine just on the left-hand mag. I did that for, 20 or 30 seconds, shut down the engine, and then I immediately went around and started spitting on the exhaust pipes. Here's what the exhaust pipes will look like. So after I spit on each of the exhaust pipes, I was going around and each one that was hot, it would sizzle. It would basically boil off the spit. The 5th plug I got to, it didn't sizzle. So I knew that was the dead cylinder. So I immediately pulled that plug out, and sure enough, it was coked up. Had a bunch of oil and trash between the electrode and the plug body. So I just replaced the plug. Hooked up the ignition lead again, started it up, ran like a champ. Fortunately, for a 2,000 mile round trip, that was the only problem we had. All in all, it was a good find, and it was easy to do just by spitting on the airplane.